Good evening. I'm Nancy Newkirk, President of the Smithsonian Women's Committee. We are thrilled that all of you could join us tonight as we honor the amazing Patti Warashina and present her with the 2020 Smithsonian Visionary Award in this virtual celebration. Her exciting award also marks the launch of this year's 2-week virtual Smithsonian Craft Show, featuring artist shops and a gala event. More about that later, but now to tell you a little bit more about Patti and the Visionary Award, I would like to introduce the co-chairs of the Smithsonian Visionary Award Committee, Ruth Conant and Martha Martin.
Good evening. The Smithsonian Visionary Award was initiated in 2014 to honor American artists who, deemed by experts in the field, have risen to the pinnacle of sculptural arts and design, who have works in major museums, and who have demonstrated distinction, creativity, exceptional artistry, and of course vision in their respective medium. Previous winners include Wendell Castle, visionary in wood furniture; Dale Chihuly, visionary in glass; Albert Paley, visionary in metal; Faith Ringgold, visionary in fiber art; Joyce J. Scott, visionary in art jewelry; and Tutsinski, visionary in glass. Most of our visionary artists participate in our Smithsonian Visionary Benefit Auction held online annually in May at Rego Wright Auctions.
Each year, we ask a selected group of experts to nominate worthy candidates in certain craft media. For 2020, we requested nominees working in ceramics. The Visionary Award Committee researches each candidate nominated over a period of months, and based on a number of criteria, determines the winner. We are grateful to the experts who nominated artists for the 2020 award: Leatrice Eagle, Fine Art Advisor and Appraiser; Joe Loria, former curator of the Los Angeles County Museum of Art; Michael Monroe, former curator of the Renwick Gallery of the Smithsonian American Art Museum; and Bruce Pepich, executive director and curator of collections at the Racine Art Museum, Racine, Wisconsin. Thank you very much to our experts.
We are delighted to announce that the unanimous choice of the committee to receive the 2020 Smithsonian Visionary Award is Seattle ceramic artist Patti Warashina.
My name's Patti Warashina, and I'm an artist, and my media is in ceramics, and I've loved clay from the very beginning when I first touched it at the University of Washington. I kind of think of my work as like a visual diary, and I definitely am inspired, or I see images that are taken from current events or in my own personal life. If you look close enough, there's usually some kind of sarcasm or some kind of glib remark or thinking that I have in it.
Even though Patti's work has changed over the many years, there are common themes in binding all of her work together. She's always addressed societal norms, life cycle events, the news, and sometimes even poking fun, making bold and provocative critiques. The Metamorphosis of a Car is a prime example of her provocative, poking fun, and social commentary regarding the idea of the time that only men were allowed to turn on the flames, to fire the kilns. Patti smashes traditions to make a social, provocative statement that yes, women can be artists, they can build kilns.
At the Smithsonian American Art Museum and in our Renwick Gallery, we have one of her most beloved pieces. It's a delightful work that highlights her humor, her edginess, and her feminist approach to ceramics and wonderful storytelling. A convertible car, seemingly made out of red bricks, shoots flames out of the inside, out of the blue seats, and one wonders what this could be. Well, it relates to her own history in art school in the 1960s, when the machoism of cars and the kill culture of ceramics upset her. And she said, no, this is certainly an area where women can thrive.
If you look at the work that Patti Warashina was doing in the 70s, these are works that are very indebted to the California funk art movement, works that are somehow in showcasing her incredibly talented quality as a painter. All of a sudden, in 1977, you have these white figures, which are 10, 12 inches tall, slip cast, but allowing her to provide expressions and gestures and movement. What had become her language of painting disappears. Subjects of these sculptures of the white figures seems to revolve around the role of women, especially in the 70s and early 80s within society, and so criticizing the traditional stereotypical role of domesticity of the woman. Sliding through it's one woman skiing using what look like maybe two knives and using a fork and a spoon to slide through the snow. At the same time, there is this idea of maybe domestic chores done with a smile, but also done with a sense of irony, in the sense that maybe this is the role where you want to relegate me, but I'm just going to slide through this. Branding iron is instead much more political. The irony of the role of women to be at home to iron the shirt of the male. And this is a branding iron. The whole political content delivered through the title of branding, and so expressing possession and ownership. Probably one of the most heartfelt political pieces of the White Figure series is Glass Cage. The piece is about 5 feet tall, has about 10 figures. At the top of this pyramid of women, there is this figure who is holding a fork, and she's basically breaking the glass ceiling. I think probably of all the sculptures with a very strong political content that I can imagine being produced in the 70s or early 80s, Glass Cage is probably one that needs to be entered into the annals of history for the simplicity, but also the strong political message.
In 1986, there was a renaissance of the arts here in Seattle. Patti was selected by the Seattle Arts Commission to produce a piece and given the freedom to make anything she wanted. In the early 80s, she and her husband visited Mexico City, and it was there that they saw the famous mural painted by Diego Rivera. And in that mural, he included 400 historical important figures in Mexico's history. She was blown away. The mural was an inspiration for a procession, one of her most ambitious pieces to date. The final work was 10 feet long, 4 feet high, and took her over 2 years to complete. She used a Polaroid camera, and she took up to 15 pictures of each of her friends so that she could carve them from the clay in exactly the way that they looked. In a procession, the humor is the facial expressions and the body gestures as these figures parade across the bridge.
After a procession was completed, Patti says she was exhausted by all the work she did on the very small figures. Patti realizes now that she's really interested in moving on to something larger, and she moves on to another series called the 4-foot series, all figures which are 4 feet tall. The figures are a combination of domestic scenes and commentary about men and women and in their daily lives. She also reintroduces color, and her figures become more abstract, but she still uses her subjects to poke fun. In 1993, she sculpts a tongue-in-cheek piece called Servicing Duchamp's Porcelain. It's a response to a 1992 California show in which Robert Arneson, a California artist, showed multiple ceramic toilets. These in turn were channeling Duchamp's 1917 iconic work, which was a manufactured urinal hung up on the wall. Instead of riffing on Duchamp, Patti cuts to the chase and she sculpts a piece which says, regardless of who's making the toilets, it's the little woman who will be cleaning up after all the men. Patti continues to challenge herself to build larger and larger figures, some up to 13 feet tall. In 1994, Patti was commissioned to sculpt a public work to be installed at the top of a large staircase landing. Mercurial Miss, over 13 feet tall, is a deliberate play on words. The Mercury part of Mercurial Miss perhaps suggests the god Mercury, who is also the god of money. But in this case, it's a young woman, and she is in profile with both arms reaching to the sky. Behind her are two sets of shapes to resemble wings to suggest freedom, and in her hands are a feather and a credit card, which is to reference the current money that we have. And it is a reminder for some people that when in the 1970s, women were not able to have their own credit card frequently. They were made to ask their husbands to sign for it. At the beginning of the millennium, personal issues really start to come into Patti's work. At the same time, it became much more contemplative and political.
The milepost queens, she seemed to be marking the milepost of one millennia and another millennia, as well as a lot of very specific changes of tone in her own life. She'd had a great series of losses in the previous decade, and she was necessarily moving on now to other things.
I think the milepost queens came after I came back from Egypt, and looking at those wonderful sculptures that were in and outside the temples, and so that's what inspired me at that time. And also I was challenging myself to work on a larger scale to see how big I could make those figures. Somebody told me that if the figures are standing still like mine are, that means these people were dead. And I wanted my figures to be very simple, so I kept that upright, the figures, the legs together, and the feet are elongated. I treated the figure very, very loosely, and you'll see that there were holes and fingerprints and whatever built into the figure, and that was a way for me to paint the piece with a texture instead of color. I think I remember this was after Bob died. And the reason I know that is because the woman's hair in this one large figure is floating up in the air, and I was thinking about Bob at that point.
With the Drunken Power series, Patti returned to these roots of making vessels, in this case making sake sets. And she was able to pull in that information where there are these very strong, her political beliefs. They are unabashedly critical of some of those actions, but they're also done in a way that is very approachable. They're fun. And in the case of Drunken Power series, you could actually use them to serve sake with. I think one of my favorite ones is entitled Oil Slick, and it is a commentary on the way the U.S. policy towards oil production and had shifted under the presidency of Bush. So what you come up with is a very blatant political critique, and at the same time it is tempered by this amazing kind of sense of technical virtuosity and humor. And then you could lift this gentleman up by his legs and pour, and the spout is hidden under his hand that is a little bit of a fascist salute, and the sake would pour out of that oil drums that serves as the sake cups. And Greenleaf is really talking about the kind of devastation of the environment and of forests and of clear cutting, and with this almost like banshee-like face on the figure that is maybe Mother Nature gone awry. And the title of the piece is Green Leaf. There's one leaf left on one of the branches that serves as a spout for the sake pourer. And I look at that green leaf as just a slight moment of optimism.
Patti has an interesting piece in the Conversations collection called The Gossip Mongers. This was done about 2010. She places a group of characters on a round black ring, which the viewer moves counterclockwise around the ring from figure to figure. Many of us probably became more familiar with the internet probably around the 2010s. And this is Patti's commentary on the internet and how information is passed along from person to person to person. So the gossip begins with a casual conversation. You have two people dressed in black, and as it moves around the ring, the mode of conversation moves through two cans and a connecting ring and erupts into a heated argument at one point between two figures dressed in red. These two cans are transformed into sticks of dynamite, and the cans and the dynamite are really discussions of how dangerous the internet can be. Patti is doing this in 2010, and she is warning in sort of a prophecy about how dangerous information transmittal on the internet can be, that it can be manipulated, that it can be misinterpreted, that it can be changed as it moves from person to person.
I was sitting there, a big window. I was reading the paper, drinking my coffee. When I looked down on the coffee table, I noticed there was a light coming through a Venetian blind, and it was hitting these papers on this coffee table. And I went, wow, that's beautiful. I went down to the studio and I used that idea through Venetian light. And I saw these figures kind of climbing in the shape of an hourglass. It's about time. And they're coming through this little funnel, and then they're emerging through the top as birds, almost like they're going to heaven. So in a way, I think it's about life and transcending into something else. I think it's about my death. Oh, hopefully it's not going the other way. I could have had it going down. Now, this is an amazing time on TV. Because of the political situation, and it's just like I can't keep up with it. Every day there's something happening, and I would be bored if I didn't have my art. I love my art, and it's fun, and I get a kick out of it. I don't see myself slowing down unless I get hit by a truck or.
And now, to present the 2020 Visionary Award, the Secretary of the Smithsonian, Lonnie Bunch.
I'm Lonnie Bunch, the Secretary of the Smithsonian Institution, and I am so pleased to be joining you tonight. Let me start by thanking all those who have made this event possible. I am deeply grateful to the Smithsonian's Women's Committee for making sure that tonight could happen and for their work to fund projects across the Smithsonian year-round. Several times during my career, the projects I imagine were made possible by the grants of the Women's Committee, so I know firsthand that this group is a powerful enabler and a powerful ally in advancing our mission. I have always said that one of the great strengths of museums have been that we bring people together. During the long separations of the past few months, these moments of connection have been fewer and farther between. But despite the harsh realities of the COVID-19 pandemic, events like tonight's anchor us in our communities. They remind us to delight in each other and in each other's talents. They remind us of how much we still have to celebrate. That's why this year's Visionary Artist Award feels particularly poignant and important to me. In a time of blame, art reminds us of our shared humanity. In a time of fear, art helps us find hope. In a time of pain, art reminds us there is still beauty. Patti ceramics do all this and much more. For 5 decades, she has defied and defined her reality, her medium. At every step, her ceramics have evolved to meet the current moment. Sometimes laugh out loud funny, sometimes a little too on the nose. Her ceramic pieces challenge expectations and skewer conventions. Patti's shrewd commentary and trademark wit ask us to reflect on our own circumstances and actions. On top of this prolific creativity, Patti has spent decades teaching. I especially want to highlight this. Not only has she risen to the top of her field with a wicked imagination and unparalleled mastery of her craft, she is a mentor and an advocate. Patti lifts those around her and opens doors for others to delight in and create art. In many ways, the Visionary Artist Award embodies the best of what we do at the Smithsonian. We are much more than a collection of objects. We don't just collect pieces of extraordinary vision and creativity. We celebrate, honor, and enable them. And especially we honor those who inspire others to create something of their own. That is why, Patti, it is my great honor to present you with the 2020 Smithsonian Visionary Artist Award. On behalf of the entire Smithsonian, let me say how proud we are to give you this award. Congratulations.
Thank you, Secretary Lonnie Bunch, for your very, very kind words. And it's with utter amazement for me to receive this 2020 Smithsonian Visionary Award. And I'm completely blown away by this very, very wonderful honor. Looking back on my past in high school and college, I was really focused on going into the sciences. My father was an immigrant from Japan, and my mother was a second-generation Japanese American. And they felt it was really important that their children get an education, their daughters as well as their son, so that they could have a career and they wouldn't come home later on. I think that was the real reason. And ultimately, I chose a very high-paying area. It's called being an artist. And I was at the University of Washington. I was taking a science course, and I was told that I had to take a class out of my program area, and so they put me into a drawing class. And I loved that class. I loved drawing the still lives, and I would stay late at night. And eventually I started taking more and more art classes, and eventually ended up taking a ceramic class. And I think there was something about that material clay that was so addictive. Anyway, art has always been a fascinating and a very lifetime interest for me, and a passionate endeavor. And as I grow older, clay seems to ask more and more questions of me, and I never seem to tire of it. So I discovered Magritte and some of the surrealists, and I loved Arshile Gorky, and they had a huge influence on the way I treated my ceramics. And eventually I had to teach myself how to use the human figure because of the subject matter. I also love the human figure because of the emotional scenarios that can happen. And I love human foibles, and I love absurdity of life. And there are so many people who have affected my art and my life, and I'm indebted to all of them. And I would like to honor my husband, late husband, Robert Sperry, who was my teacher, my husband, and my mentor, who kept me inspired, and he encouraged me to do two-dimensional work as well as experimental work. Some other people that I would like to honor at this time is my art galleries, who have put up with my work all these years and have believed in my vision. Two other people that I feel very important to my life is Dan Nish and Jill Harris, who concurrently assist me in my studio and office, and I call them my left and my right brain in my work. And Two other people that are really important are my daughters and their families, but my daughters who were so responsible and they were so patient with their hysterical single mother early in their childhood days. And at that time, I was busy teaching school and trying to do my studio work, and also trying to run them off to nursery schools and PTA meetings. And so they were so patient. And I remember sending them to bed about 8 o'clock at night. And I said, after 8, it's my time. And so thank you so much for putting up with me as your mother. Of course, I want to thank the Smithsonian, which is a national treasure for the United States. And most importantly, I want to thank the Smithsonian's Women Committee and their selection committee for sponsoring this award. Thank you all for granting me the most incredible honor and the most wonderful moment in my life. Thank you so much.
Congratulations, Patti. I'm delighted you are the 2020 winner of the Smithsonian's Visionary Award, a national honor. It's well-deserved. Artists change the way we see the world, and you're certainly one of those powerful artists who make us look at your works with delight and with fresh eyes. Thank you for your great contributions to the arts.
Patti, I couldn't be more thrilled that you're being honored as the Visionary Artist this year. I got to know you way back in my previous iteration at Bellevue Arts Museum when we hosted your amazing solo exhibition there. I loved the enthusiasm that you brought. I remember your stories about sneaking into the ceramic studios late at night in college. So you have a very special place in my heart, and I couldn't be more excited that you're being honored. So congratulations to you.
Patti, congratulations. You deserve this so much, plus much more.
Thank you for all the years of creating some of the most dynamic, exciting, humorous art that we have seen in the 21st century. Thank you. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Patti. I'm so happy for you.
Congratulations, Patti. This is wonderful, and of course it's well deserved, and we're all very happy for you.
Congratulations, Patti. I can't imagine anyone more deserving.
Mom, I am so proud of you for achieving this award. You have just been an incredible mentor for me, creative and inventive. I'm just so very proud of you in this award.
Hi, Patti. You've been an incredible person for me to get to know and to be a part of your family, and you're pretty darn good for a mother-in-law as well. But congratulations on this award. I'm just so proud of you and so impressed by everything you do in your life.
Baba, I just want to say you're so inspiring and you really push me to be more creative when I'm thinking. Congratulations on your award. I love you more.
Congrats, Baba. We love you so much. We're so proud of you. Thank you for being the best grandma.
Well done, Patti.
And Mom, your work has always been so courageous and so meaningful for so many people. I am so glad that you're being recognized for all of your hard work and your passion for all of these years. Anyway, I love you.
Congratulations, Patti. I'm so in awe of the body of art you've produced over the years. No one deserves it more than you. Love you.
Congratulations, Patti. It's well deserved.
Hi, Pat. Congratulations. We're really proud of you, Pat. Good job.
Patti, congratulations on this award. Your talent, humor, compassion, wisdom, and friendships will reverberate for generations. Thanks for it, all of it.
Congratulations on your Smithsonian Award, Pat.
Kampai.
Hi, Patti.
Hi, Patti.
We're so glad they finally institutionalized you for those visions of yours. Congratulations.
Congratulations. We love you.
Love you, Patti.
Congratulations, Patti. We love you.
Congratulations. You made our life what it is.
Thanks, Patti, for all you've done for the city of Spokane.
Hey, Patti, it's Janet. Congratulations. We love you.
Congratulations, Pat, on your well-deserved award. I just wish that we could be celebrating with you in person in the other Washington. Sante, your good health.
Hi, Patti. Congratulations on this great award. You deserve it. You've been such an inspiration to so many, and me particularly, ever since you came to our school at the University of Colorado in the 70s. So anyway, thank you so much for being you.
Patti, in 1970, my professors at the Kansas City Art Institute wanted me to apply to graduate school at Alfred University on the East Coast. I said, what the hell would I want to do that for when Patti Warashina is on the West Coast? Patti, you've been an inspiration to me for more than 50 years. I love you. Congratulations.
Patti, we all wish you the best of everything going forward, both personally and what we know will continue to be your most glorious career. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Patti.
Patti.
Congratulations.
Let me add my congratulations to Patti as well. Today marks the start of our virtual Smithsonian Craft Show. Over 100 American artists are showing and selling their works online for 2 weeks, and admission is free. You can visit the artist shops by going to smithsoniancraftshow.org. Another exciting event you won't want to miss is our virtual gala and live online auction. We will have the fabulous celebrity chef Carla Hall as our host at the gala, and she will be modeling some of the gorgeous clothing and jewelry. It promises to be highly entertaining. We are thrilled to announce that a piece by Patti will be in the auction, along with some spectacular, fine collectible crafts. The gala and auction will be on October 21st at 8 p.m., so mark your calendars. You can learn about the shops, the gala, and the auction by going to our website, smithsoniancraftshow.org, and following us on social media. As Secretary Budge said in his remarks, the Smithsonian Women's Committee produces our craft shows to support the Smithsonian's 19 museums, research centers, and the National Zoo. We hope that you will consider making a tax-deductible donation to help us fund some of these innovative and essential programs. Have a good evening, and thank you for joining us tonight.
you.